Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the third week of Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament groups. I am Drosy1. I'm joined here by WolfLink0370. How are you tonight?
Doing okay. Little groggy, but it's late at night. What can you do about it? Tonight, folks, we have jmeasher and fcoughlin in the losers round 2, and if that sounds strange to you, it's because these two have already met here in Group U in the first round. Luck has put them back together for another series.
And in fact, they went the full 3-game distance in the first round, so this is their head-to-head of this tournament. And the tournament is only in its third week, as I mentioned. So they probably know each other's strategies pretty well at this point.
Yeah, I will be very interested to see what's going to happen coming up in the next few games here between these two.
But since...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, since this is a new round, we are back to the base settings, so it's 7-7 open, defeat Ganon, all that fun stuff. The loser of this match will be able to change one setting for the next match, which will be the 5th match between them, but for this one, we're back to the base settings.
And they are hoping for a 6th match, just for to add extra fun to this. But this is a little bit more stressful than last time. This is an elimination series. Winner will get the privilege to advance into the main bracket. Loser, that's it. The road ends.
So whoever loses tonight will have his back to the wall.
Yeah, it'll be do or die for them. Pretty interesting sprite choices here tonight too. We have the original Link, and we have a Toad.
Wonder what colors Toad turns when he picks up the armors, if he's already red.
That is a good question. I think maybe his vest will change, not the spots. We'll find out.
I mean, it would be kind of funny if his hat went from red to blue to green.
I'm not going to go into the debate between if that's his hat or his head. Let's move on from that.
I don't want to think about such things.
Anyway, we should get started here any second now.
Yeah, must be a restream. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Moon Pearl had a bottle to start things off immediately for both runners.
Always nice to get some useful items right out the gate. And a map check, I saw regular crystal in Hera, blue pendant in Eastern. Did you catch desert?
Green pendant.
Ooh, two pendants in the light world.
Saw the sparkle.
To answer chat, no, they are not doing a doubleheader tonight.
No.
I think same time tomorrow will be game 2.
Yeah. Fred starting with fcoughlin.
Yeah, good way to pick up 225 rupees right off the bat.
And we have an ether as well on the uncle. Overall, not bad starts for either runner.
Though Fred is taking a somewhat unusual route now over... I just realized, when you exit Houlihan, you exit from Link's house, but Fred did not go back into Link's house to pick up the Moon Pearl.
It makes sense. Fred is most likely going to do a save quit, and he'll be in Link's house to go to the South Shore.
Oh, true.
So he'll pick it up then.
I mean, not that we're talking like 5-minute Dark World access anyway, I just realized. He walked out of Link's house, he doesn't have the Moon Pearl. Oh, right, he wasn't Ooh, vanilla book today.
That's a vanilla book!
I think that's the second vanilla book I've seen in this tournament.
And we have just a piece of heart here in Lumberjack. Egg is not required for that tonight. But he might be required for Dark World access. We don't know yet.
I believe that's a vanilla lumberjack too. Shall we count all the vanilla things in this seed?
Not really. There's a red potion.
Yeah, sick kid gives you a bottle for showing him a bottle.
A bottle of help of vitality, no less.
Right, if he's that sick, you'd think he would have drunk it himself.
Exactly. There's the flippers.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about fake flippering. Tried to say that tongue twister.
Or
It also means
no splash.
it's a good thing Fred did his houlihan early because you need to either have a glove or not have flippers to get to the houlihan room.
Oh, the mirror on the merchant today.
That's a pretty good deal for $100.
It is. Especially seeing we have 2 pendants in the overworld. I believe you said Eastern was the blue pendant?
And there's a cape in the well.
Sword in the blind hideout. Uh-oh. And the
cape
lamp.
and lamp. We have AGA access.
We have negative access. That's not good. So in the well is the cape and the lamp, I believe. And then Blind's Hideout, I believe, is the sword.
Yep. And Fred actually has bombs, so he can show us what's in the back of Blind's hut, too. But yes, 4-minute AGA access, including the Moon Pearl to, do things once you beat AGA.
The only thing we're missing now is the hook shot, otherwise we're just locked to just doing Aghanim for the Piles of Darkness region. Alright. We're heading north into the Lost Woods.
And jmeasher doubling back to do the well now that he has bombs.
Yeah, Poultry not providing anything of note. Both runners now with the cape and the flippers. And lamp coming up right here for jmeasher. And now move pro for Fred.
And he's going to give us that South Shore check like you said he would after he saved and quit to Link's house.
Yeah. This is a fairly common routing to do after Kakariko's to head to South Shore next, because it's the next big chunk of items.
And that mirror is nice because it allows Fred to only enter the dam once because he can use that glitch where if you use the mirror as you push a block, the block, just disappears because why not? That's how the game's coded.
Yeah. Just some ammunition in when you drain the dam. Not really that important. We don't have the bow to use it with just yet. Or a bow, rather. I should be more specific. We do technically have 2 in the pool out there somewhere now.
Yeah, progressive bows took a bit of getting used to in this version, but overall I like the change.
Yeah, I'd like the change too. Wow. Mini Molars had a lot of arrows.
Fred lets the NPC there know what he thinks of all those arrows.
We're going to ignore checking Ice Rock Cave for the time being.
Another vanilla heart piece of heart on Lake Hylia Island. Ooh, jmeasher having a bit of trouble with those bomb strats.
Oh, the fairy group was on the Molder enemies. And the full magic, wow.
Fred isn't too happy about Hobo's gift, even though it's, starting to get him close to Zora money.
I think Fred left behind 300 on the race game too, so he could have had Zora money by now. jmeasher, meanwhile, is nowhere close. Probably not gonna go for it.
But yeah, both of our runners are converging on the ice cave here.
And one has to be a little careful when it comes to this area. Those crabs can do 2 hearts of damage.
And more bombs. Oh, jmeasher did. I guess he's waiting until he has something resembling Zora money to do the Zora area checks.
Yeah, he only has 70 rupees, whereas Fred has nearly 400. So jmeasher is probably going to be heading over to check the island real quick, just by hopping down this ledge, and then gonna head over to Sahasrara. Or just gonna go in to check the lake anyway. Probably forgot he had the flippers.
Well, he remembered quickly enough.
Indeed, because he didn't go back up on the ledge right away.
So what does Waterfall Fairy have?
The Master Sword. Okay. Master Sword, Cape, Lamp. Very suspicious.
You have your choice of how to get into Aga Tower now.
Yeah, and that's what really makes it suspicious here.
So
I'm starting.
Go ahead.
I'm feeling it's an Agassiz.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the downside is Fred has now orphaned Zora. So he has to hope Zora doesn't have anything important.
Well, he hasn't orphaned Zora completely.
Oh right, Catfish.
Yeah,
because he has the mirrors, so
it'll still be a while before he checks Zora though.
well, I could see if he has a Glover hammer by the time he gets to the Dark World. I'm assuming he won't have both because I'm assuming this is an Agassiz. Okay, Fred, what was wrong about Ether? You might need that Ether medallion.
I don't know. But even with the hammer, you still need a glove to reach Catfish. There is another stone to lift on the way. And it's completely unavoidable.
Oh, right, that one that's past the Dark World Magic Hut, if you will.
Yeah. It's a shop in Dark World, but basically the same place. Alright, first look at Sahasrara's hut. No need to check. We know the green pendant is in desert.
More junk. And so far, just a heart container and escape. Without the glove, Fred's probably hoping to see a key at some point in here so he can get to the back.
Probably a good idea. Can check pretty much everything as well. It's all in logic. And jmeasher is dumping pendant Eastern Palace. It is the blue pendant tonight. And we're not playing Key Sandy, so that music is not lying to you. Only 3 bombs in Zelda cell.
So now we have to see if Dark Cross has a key, because if it doesn't, we are locked out of the back of escape. And with jmeasher finding nothing so far in Eastern, it is really looking like an Agaseed. I mean, the only other locations are Zora and Agena.
Yeah. Still two items left here in Eastern though. And there is a small key here in the Dark Cross, so Fred can check the back 3 chests. And I think
one of which contains the map.
Yeah, I was about to say. Ooh, not looking good for jmeasher. Found the second chest, only 50 rupees. Oh!
Wow.
So if it is Dark World, Aga required for Dark World, it is just because we don't have any gloves in the Light World.
And that also means that if we do take Aga to the Dark World, we can get to a number of places. We can go down and do Hype Cave and Stumpy and Cave 45 and all that stuff.
Yeah. Brett is pulling the trigger. He thinks it's Aga. And I don't blame him. And that's also kind of a rude Eastern Palace as well, because it's pendant. You don't really want to go into pendant dungeons.
But Fred's gonna have to if he wants to finish the seed.
Exactly. Hammer is unavoidably required. Because it on its own locks Ice, Turtle Rock, Pod, and Swamp. 4 dungeons. And only 3 of those can be pendants at any given time, so the hammer is always required.
And in this particular seed, we know that only one of them at most is a pendant.
Yep. Now, the hammer could not be required in a very niche case as 6-6, in which 3 of the 4 hammer dungeons are pendants. You just ignore the 4th one. But this is not a 6-6 seed, this is a 7-7, so they have to do all of the hammer dungeons.
Right, it's theoretically possible in a game 3 if the runners wound up with 6-6 fast Ganon that you could have a hammerless seed.
Yeah, but the hammer locks a lot of checks. So it's probably required even then.
Meanwhile, yeah, Fred is going to be really limited once he gets to the Dark World.
Yeah, and of course, folks, we have a minigame we like to play as jmeasher with his Master Sword is heading to the back 3. Aghanim has a set pattern that he follows during in which he fires one orange shot at the start and lightning at the end that arcs randomly across the room. But in between, he can shoot either an orange shot or a blue shot that we cannot reflect at him for extra damage. So, how many blue shots do you think we're going to get tonight?
I'm going to be optimistic and say 1. What do you think?
Go with the average 2. It's the most common.
I thought 3 was the most common.
It's somewhere around there.
Well, that ruled out any number above 11. Okay, nothing in the back of escape.
Oh, 0 on the first cycle. Perfect. And this lightning arcs completely randomly, changes direction every frame. Best to stay behind it. Guaranteed blue shot to start. So it might be 0.
Moment of truth.
Ah, there's 1. So worst it can be is 3. Nope, it's just 1. You got it right.
Wow, my optimism was actually rewarded for a change.
That's Aga down. Fred will have a much more dangerous overworld and also has to be wary of save and quits now as well. With Aga 1 down and the save and quits there, as we see the third pendant is in Mire.
And the 5-6 crystals were in Thieves Town and Turtle Rock.
And the flute is here on the pyramid.
Well, that's our Death Mountain access. And with the hammer, that gives us all of Light World Death Mountain. Though Fred doesn't have the hammer.
You know what I'm starting to think now? You know what I'm starting to think?
Progression in Bootless Spiral Cave?
Glove in
You're
Hera.
not allowed to think that there's something important in Mire.
I was going to say Glove and Hera.
That could be. Or, you know, Glove and Bootless Spiral Cave.
And jmeasher is on his way up to Aga as well. Now, we still have a couple locations in the light world that could have said, hey, this is not an Aga seed. One of which is Agina. And the other one is Zora, which neither runner has checked.
Right, so if either of them winds up holding a glove, the runners are going to feel really silly.
But at the same time, both runners are doing the same did the same thing, fighting Aga 1, so it's not a time loss.
Right, it's more that one runner could have had a major time gain if it turns out that there's a glove there, or else a major time loss if, you know, they went to those places pointlessly.
Yeah. So, I should explain something like I said earlier, I alluded to this, has to be careful. Fred and now jmeasher will soon have to be careful their saving quit points. What I meant by that was simply, when you have Aghanim 1 defeated and the mirror in hand, in your inventory, the pyramid itself becomes a save and quit point whenever you're in the Dark World. So if you want access to the Sanctuary in Link's house, you have to mirror to the Light World first, then save and quit.
And in every such seed, there is always at least one instance where a runner will forget this, save and quit, respawn on top of the pyramid, then mirror and save and quit again.
Yeah. And also of note, the overworld is a lot more dangerous as a general rule of thumb. For example, in the eastern area, if you go south of Hospital's house, you're going to run into like maybe 5 guards. 3 of them are the highly aggressive red guards.
They just want to be friends with Link. But yes, there are also now a ton of guards in Kakariko even.
Yeah, not a nice place overall.
And Fred does the potion glitch to get through the bow-locked side of Pod.
Makes perfect sense.
One of the relatively newly discovered glitches, only about a year old, all told, that if you walk left while drinking a potion, you can unlock the camera and then just get the mimics to walk off screen.
So we found a shovel there in the bowlock side and a small key. So the dungeon wasn't technically bowlocked. However, that shovel could lead to our second bow, in which it would just be our initial bow. The second bow will always be the silver arrow upgrade. Well, time to see what Hypecape has in store for us here. 5 items, rapid fire.
This could be big if it has anything important.
Not starting off strong with that 20. The Cadence of Mario, though. The Fire Rod. A third bottle. Okay. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, 2 absolutely required items.
Yeah, you need the Ender Turtle, you need the cane for Turtle Rock, you need the Fire Rod for Mothula and Turtle Rock as well. That is some really good items.
But yeah, except for that shovel, Pod's coming up empty so far.
And we're still only 25 minutes in. This race could still go either way.
We have not yet seen the compass to Pod, though, so if the compass isn't here in the Dark Maze or the Big Chest, it's on Helma, and Fred will have gotten all the items.
And we'll still have to come back in because we still need that crystal off of Helma. And it's spawned Helmasaur King. Good spot for it.
Yeah, so that's all the items in Pod, and except for potentially what's at the shovel spot, it was a complete waste. But Fred is now going into Eastern. He will get his hammer, so that's progression there.
Whoops! I don't think measure mental mirror.
I don't even know what they'll say to you if you try to cheat the race game that way.
I think they say go back to start. And actually, I don't even think you can enter the house from the right side, from the wrong side. It's really strange.
Oh, did jmeasher not find out about the book? Well, he's found out about it now. And yes, you can see that lovely red guard, as we say. He's just really into Link.
Yeah,
Or Toad.
very aggressive. Alright, flute coming online for jmeasher. And I can't think of no other place to go than up the mountain, really.
Yeah, especially with that hammer, there are like a dozen checks open to the runners between the parts of Death Mountain and Tower of Hera.
Yeah. That's what
I think,
seems about.
to be
right.
precise, 13. Oh, but Measher is going to give us a look at the desert area. Another vanilla piece of heart on the ledge.
And it's gonna check again as well. If this is a glove, that means Aga was not required.
I'm gonna bet there's junk in here, though.
I mean, that's a safe bet. Could also be the hook shot or something important. It's the 4th bottle.
Well, we're in bottle mode less than half of an hour in.
And I think only one of the bottles had a actually beneficial item in the form of the red potion. Everything else was empty or bees.
And Fred is now activating his flute while jmeasher doubles back into the tunnel to rescue the old man and create the save point.
Yeah, so far they're pretty neck and neck in terms of items. Of course, Fred needs to go to Hype Cave still for the very important Fire Rod and King of Samaria.
Not too often you see runners doing this double back into the tunnel with the lamp, because usually if there's flute access to Death Mountain, the runners don't have the lamp at that point and they'll break logic to navigate the dark.
Yeah, but lamp was nice and early for us today.
It had to be for Aga to be in logic.
Indeed. And we don't even know if it actually was required. For all we know, Zora has that glove. But at this point, it's pretty safe to say that it was required.
Yeah, otherwise it's a heck of a coincidence that we got our Aga survival pack 5 minutes into the seed.
What was that? I couldn't quite make out what was in Spectral Arcade. Was that maybe the red boomerang?
I didn't catch it. Chat's saying a big 20.
I saw it was something red. I just couldn't make out the shape. We'll probably get a better look here as Fred is about to check it as well. Yeah, it's a red rupee.
Well, conveniently placed big key today.
Indeed.
And let's hope whatever's in the basement is a dungeon item.
Yeah.
That's actually a 50-50 chance because there are 2 dungeon items and 2 actual items left to find.
Yeah, let's hope it's one dungeon item down there and the other one's on let's just say it's on Moldorm. No, it's right there. Never mind. Oh!
Ooh.
That's a nasty Turbo swat too, because that's 2 floors down for Jay. That's not good.
Yeah, so Fred passes him. I'm not sure who's ahead at this point because jmeasher has more items, but Fred's cleared out pod, and jmeasher's probably going to do that at some point.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell who's in the lead until go mode hit. Or at least until we have an idea of no mode, which we can assume based on what runners are avoiding and the like. Unfortunately, there's the compass, so we do have to do the basement for the item.
And Fred can count, which is why he left that bomb there.
What is to wonder if Fred is leaving those bombs on purpose, or is actually raging at the seed. I wager the former. It's way too early for him to be tilted, I feel.
Yeah. Nice takedown of Moldorm.
Only a heart piece. But first curse on the match for both of our runners.
So I wonder if either of them will go back in now, or will they do East Death Mountain and then maybe come back for Hera Basement? Fred's going back in.
Yeah, Fred's gonna go back in. I would expect jmeasher to do the same. Because when are you gonna be back over here, really? You're gonna be trying to clear as much as you can. Especially because you're lacking so much progression.
Well, and lucky for each of them, the other's doing this, so neither of them's going to gain or lose any time on the other.
So while we have
Maybe they'll
Sorry, let me...
Go ahead.
So while I have a moment here, I'd like to shout out to our tracker, Lumago, who's keeping those items up to date for you at the bottom of the screen here, keeping us honest as well.
I was just going to suggest that maybe Fred and jmeasher could sit down for coffee together, given that they were, taking their coffee breaks at the same time.
They might! And only for red rupees.
So, Paradox Cave or Spiral Cave had better have progression here.
Yeah, it's most likely Paradox.
Or else, joke's on all of us and Zora has the glove.
Wouldn't that be a punchline? Get check Floating Island first, makes sense. jmeasher not checking Spiral right away. And there's a glove. So, if the other glove is here, or glove locked, this wasn't Agassi. Blue mail. Heart piece. Tempered. Arrows and arrows.
And you were right that the blue mail just changes the color of Toad's shirt.
Yeah, I had a feeling. And it also looks like it was a green vest as well to start things off. Thinking about it. Okay, they have a few options here, but the most important option right now is they now have access to Village of Outcasts. And that's exactly where jmeasher is going, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we got 2 crystals in the area that he can easily get. Especially with that tempered sword now, Mothula should be a lot easier.
Indeed. And right now, jmeasher is the only one with the access and availability to fight Mothula. Fred has not been down to Hype Cave yet.
Yeah, I'm slightly surprised. I mean, I guess Fred will, progress to the south after he enters the Dark World and eventually make it to Hype Cave, and then he's gonna wish he had done Hype Cave first.
Yeah. You don't forget to do Hype Cave, let's be real. But Fred missing Hype Cave early makes sense because Fred didn't find the hammer until after he was done with Pod Eastern.
Right, I was just thinking he could have, fluted to 4 and just quickly checked Hype Cave.
He could have done that. But there's not much else to check over that way, so it makes sense that he would skip it for now and then route his way down and around from Village of Outcasts. And who knows, maybe he'll find the hook shot and he can cleanly route in Swamp House while he's at it. We're only missing that for full clearing.
And jmeasher will also have a much easier time in this room that Fred's currently in because he can just use the cane on that block. Yeah, so I guess jmeasher will get his big key out of the vanilla big key chest and probably continue to the back and only open the big chest on the way out if he hasn't found the second item with Moth or in the back.
Wow! The lamellas, or the mini molder, I'm sorry, are just loaded. I think that we just saw the 8 bombs, the full magic, and the fairy from them. They got a very high item, very rewarding item pool. I'm not sure which package, what pack that is.
The emergency pack? Fred having trouble with this bomb jump, though, to the point where he even took a death warp to refill his health. Finally makes it for a key.
Alright, here we go, Mafia fight. It only takes 4 slashes to temper to kill, but those spikes can override it. There we go.
Very clean fight.
There's the bow.
So jmeasher will have the luxury of single dipping pod because he can now just do the whole thing whenever he wants.
And we know all the items in pod and Eastern as well. Eastern having the hammer, of course.
And there's some chance he could be in go mode at that point.
Still a little too early to call. We don't know where the ice on the hookshot is. We actually didn't need the flute for anything related to Missing Meyer. Oh, but there's a hookshot on Bumper Cave.
That early cape is coming in handy.
Wait a minute, that means this area was glove locked because you couldn't get over here. So I think Aga was required because we needed that glove off the mountain, and the only way to get there was with the flute.
Unless the other glove happens to be on Zora.
Yeah, that's the only reason. And that hookshot unlocks a fair bit.
Yeah, Swamp is now fully in logic.
And there's way too... We need to figure out where that other glove is so we can figure out the logic of the seed. But they handed us Aghanim access on a platter. One would have to think that Aga was required for a reason. At that point.
Yeah.
Nothing here in Village of Outcasts just yet. I mean, they're both going to go into full clear decent weather in the area. There's no question.
Oh, definitely. But Fred's going to show us the chess game first.
Yeah.
One and a half hearts in Village of Outcasts.
Not a great find. So we find our glove anywhere in Dark World, then that means it was an Agassiz, I believe. Because that A locks out the fact there was only one glove available in Light World, and B, there's no way to get to Dark World via 2 gloves.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think if the other glove is anywhere except Zora, it was an Agaseed.
Yeah. And for all we know, Zora could be required for something else entirely.
Or actually, for all we know, Zora might have, like, the boots and the gloves and Bonk Rocks. Ooh, boots on Zora could actually be kind of nasty if Desert turns out to be boots locked.
Well, Desert doesn't have to be done. It's just our green pendant.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah. We don't also have access to about the boots anyway because the book is on the library ledge.
Right, but if there's nothing on a tablet, then we might not find the boots and we might not get the book.
Yeah, and even then, the only other way to access is the glove, and that's the other major locking point of the sea right now.
Well, Thieves hasn't had anything useful for us so far.
No, it doesn't. It might have something for us useful later. Actually, no, never mind. It's very unlikely to have something useful. And I say that purely because of the fact that the other 5-6 crystal is Turtle Rock. And really, looking at the items, boots aside, we could be in a nice rod go mode right now.
Yeah, depending what medallion is necessary for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we could already have it here with Ether.
Oh, and mitts, of course.
Yeah, myths, obviously.
Otherwise, we're not getting anywhere near Turtle Rock.
Yeah, we need those myths first and foremost. And they'll most likely be the next progression. Now, there is one thing Fred has over jmeasher, and that is the shovel. I don't think we saw what the shovel was just yet, or did we?
No, I think Fred's probably gonna do it when he checks Stumpy after he finishes in Village of Outcasts.
Wait a minute, where was our shovel? Wasn't that at the water?
No, Shovel was in Pod.
That's right. It was bow locked, so it is in logic. Well, that we know of. Fred hasn't gone into Skull Woods. Actually, it's on the boss, so it doesn't really matter. Pretty clean blind fight from the both of them?
Right, so Fred will first need to go to Hype Cave to get the Fire Rod in order to get to Mothula to get the bow.
Yeah, these two runners are seemingly neck and neck. But Fred is leaving a few more loose ends behind than jmeasher is, which could be the deciding factor. But it's still relatively early.
Yeah, basically, if there turns out to be nothing on that shovel, jmeasher is definitely ahead.
And it looks like Fred is going to be starting his checks of the southwestern Dark World.
Yeah, he'll do Dig Game, K45, Stumpy, Shovel, and then head over to Hype Cave and get his Fire Rod and Cane of Samaria.
And then walks right into Swamp after that. No reason not to.
And jmeasher with his bow, I guess he is gonna full clear pod. And then, oh no, not finish off Eastern because that's a pendant, and we already have the 3 items out of Eastern.
Exactly. Really, the only thing that could be on pedestal right now is the ice rod. Which, what a scene would that be if that was the required?
That would be awful because we don't know where the boots are, so we can't get the book, so Ped would have to be a blind pull.
Well, we would have the Titan's Mitts in advance, so we wouldn't necessarily need the book. So yeah, we could maybe just not get it. The spot is even more money.
And Fred's way over 1,000, so he has more than enough money to get him through the rest of the game already.
So yeah, bomb in hand, definitely gonna be going to check out Jim next. And we'll most likely head in here. Oh, Fred only has 2 bombs, okay. I got confused for a moment there. Yeah, here we go. Fred's gonna start catching up a little bit here.
And as you said, he will likely just head down to Swamp after this.
Of course, it's always the conundrum of whether or not to go full clearing Swamp.
Why is he bombing Hype Cave? Because he's mad that the Fire Rod only showed up now?
Well, he was up there in the area already.
Well, it's his own fault for not checking Hype Cave sooner.
You could also just be bombing NPCs for the fun of it.
Also true.
There's the shovel number jmeasher. We know it's only for 300 rupees.
So after this, what haven't we seen? Graveyard Ledge, Catfish, and Zora?
Yeah. So one of them has to have our glove.
Statistically, that means Swamp's likely.
Yeah, Swamp's the most likely play. And it can't be a pet seed for Titan's Mist because we need the Titan's Mist to enter Mizring Mire. Now, if I find the boost, it does open up a couple checks in Pingsum and Bonk Rocks.
They can also go into Lumberjack if they really want that piece of heart.
I don't think they're going to be getting it. Also, to note, I don't think they're going to get any more health than they can help it either. Look at their health totals right now.
Yeah, 11 hearts and blue armor is a pretty good place to be.
Oh, yeah. Considering that I believe NMG is comfortable at 14 hearts green.
13 if you don't take the Sank heart.
Yeah. And I believe the Sank heart is taken as a safety for doing the big key skip in Eastern, just ignoring the whole kill puzzle there. Which you see most runners do in Randomizer anyway.
Yeah, I wish I had known about that when I was a kid playing the game for the first time.
And Fred is going to be doing left side swamp first. Well, we have seen the map, so he knows there's at least one item over there on left side.
Meanwhile, jmeasher is giving us a lovely 17-second cutscene on his way down to Helmsaur King. So what does left side swamp have for us for all that?
Let's hope it's something good. There's the compass.
And watch the other one be the big key.
That's also the big key chest. So another vanilla location. I think we're at the 4 now?
Along with the big key in Skull. But the swamp big key is a lot easier to get at if you already have the hook shot.
What is with this seed? Hey, menuing.
So that entire trip to left side swamp just netted us the bloomerang.
I mean, it's not that bad. It helps you with menuing, but... And there are a few strats that use it. One of which I've seen is the, on left side of GT, the boomerang to hookshot played to hit the crystal switch.
And chat's pointing out that it's worth it simply because it's blue.
Yeah. Of course, the red one apparently now has some uses with the new Ancilla tricks, specifically Splash Deletion. Oh. Why? Why that shield? Boo.
Well, maybe Argus is going to lead a riot and Link needs to quell it.
Oh. There's the Titan Smith. Alright, this was an Agassiz. That just confirmed it.
Yep.
Flute locked Power Glove on the mountain, and the other glove was in Dark World.
Which also means that jmeasher could save quite a bit of time over Fred if he gambles on left being worthless, if he just goes straight to the back, gets his glove, figures, okay, that's my progression, and leaves.
So it's time for that thing we hate to do so much, the Ice Rod Hunt. We find that and we are in no mode.
Well, we find that, and there's a 1/3 chance that we're in no mode.
Yeah, that's true. I think the next play, though, is... If I was in this position, I say the next play is go up, do Dark Death Mountain, check your medallion, and maybe, if it's easier, dip Turtle Rock to see if the Ice Rod's in there.
Yeah, it's a pretty item-dense location. You got 6 chests, but it looks like Fred might be going to Ice Palace.
Also a valid play. It's nearby. You're in the area. You have the fire
Yeah,
on.
it's a crystal.
And yeah, he's going with the assured dungeon instead of the 1 in 3 chance that it can get in. Makes sense. Although there is another 6 items up there on Dark Death Mountain you can pick up. 7 if we count Spike Cave.
Yeah, and so if one of those happened to be the Ice Rod, it would then save a full clear of ice.
I mean, we'll see which play is correct.
Or, well, you know, the ice rod's probably on Zora.
I mean, Zyshar can literally be anywhere except Trinex or GT at this point. Our runners could be in for the long haul here.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna give the runners hell for skipping Zora and assume that anything we need is on Zora until proven otherwise.
I could say the same thing about Pedestal, and I think I will. Because I wouldn't put it past the C to be a pet Agassiz after everything that's been going on between these two. Well, how crazy the mitts have been defined. Granted, it wasn't too bad, but it could be a whole lot worse.
What was in the compass chest and ice? I just realized I missed it.
We haven't checked it yet, I don't think.
No, that's the first one on the way in.
Really? It's not. That's not the map chest.
I thought that was the compass chest.
Hmm. It's. I'm not even gonna argue with it because it's really strange. I don't even remember what was in there.
I mean, I'm just trying to count items. I don't think it was anything useful, but I'm trying to remember whether it was an item or a dungeon item. And jmeasher is well on his way to finding his all-important bloomerang.
Alright. Let's see what's over here. Second item is a heart container here in the ice.
Hey, at least that wasn't a vanilla big key.
What was it? I looked it down.
Small key.
Yeah, I suppose that would be better.
Well, the nice thing about that big key is we can just go straight across and... Oh, or not. I was thinking Fred would do Freezor Room and the big chest, but I guess he wants to do Iced Tea Room first.
There's the Titans for jmeasher. I think he's already checked the freezer chest. I'm not sure. But he can jump across the gap, go up the stairs, check the freezer. Oh, he can't check up the stairs. Never mind. Oh, no. The freezer's room's just over here. He can just bomb jump across it, right.
jmeasher got off to a really good start with Argus and then slowed down a little bit, but he manages the awesome 2 fire rod hits and a spin attack, which I believe is the fastest way to beat Argus without the silver arrows.
Oh, Argus? Oh, ooh. Actually, hang on. Okay. Colster has an item. He has third item. I was about to say Colster has a key, but then I remember Fred did not go in the room that has a small key in a pot. Gotta keep that in mind.
Yeah, I usually just go by items picked up rather than key count.
A little early on the spin, so they get away from him. Uh-oh.
Oh
Fred
yeah, Fred. He cannot take a hit from Puff.
No, he can't take a hit anymore. Yeah.
Did he drink his? Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, he drank. He did the potion glitch in.
Oh
Pot,
right.
remember? Powder is the third item.
Well, that opens Magic Bat.
Very narrow victory for Fred, but saves so much time and not dying to Cold Stare. This is probably the worst dungeon to die in. Period. I think the only dungeon that can be worse is Turtle Rock if you go straight from the main entrance all the way to Trinex. So, Fred's over in this area, probably gonna do Skull Woods, get the bow. And then probably do Smith Chain, and then finish by heading over to Palace of Darkness.
So as the runners retrace each other's footsteps, this is a good time to say that you should give them a follow. They have been doing a great show for us here tonight. They did great shows their first 3 races against each other. I watched most of those. They'll have at least one more against each other, maybe 2. So yeah, be sure to check them out after this.
Alright. Fred heading to the Moth. Where could that ice rod be? I mean, besides it's where the chat thinks it's gonna be is the worst location.
Yeah, besides anywhere in the game at this point. I mean, I think
well, it can't be
apart from
it can't be on Trinex and it can't be in GT. That's pretty much the only restriction on the ice rod.
Well, I was gonna say, apart from boots or book location, since we haven't seen the boots yet, and the book is boots locked. Moth is being really annoying staying up at the top. There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my prediction that it's in Graveyard Ledge. Because I don't think either runners checked that.
They have not, because when they went into Swamp, that was the only location besides Catfish and Zora that was accessible and not checked.
Yeah, both of them got the hookshot and immediately bolted for Swamp. Pretty much.
I'd kind of like to see it in Checkerboard Cave at this point.
Yeah, the Maya region is also a pretty solid play as well. Actually, could be in Desert. We do have access to the Desert via Titans, Mirror, and Flute.
Though if it's boots locked, we'd only have access to one check in there. Oh, I guess they're stealing the key, isn't there?
I mean, if you really wanted to.
It would be out of logic, but that's 2 more checks if Desert winds up being boots locked.
I mean, it could just be big key on the torch, and then the small keys in the one chest, and then both items are on right side anyway.
Oh yeah, chat pointing out that, you know, the Smith chain is in logic, and it looks like Fred's about to do it.
Yeah, I had a feeling he
So-
was going to do this.
This will give us 4 checks: the Smith, Magic Bat, Hammer Pegs, and Purple Chest.
And he finds boots along the way. Alright, Fred has found in there. Nothing of note. Fred's got the hammer out. I wonder what he's gonna do.
Probably Magic Bat. Oh, I haven't seen that message before.
I had a feeling he was gonna do that.
Why do dwarves always speak with Scottish accents?
I don't know. Armor for defeating Cold Stare with the magic powder.
Well, it's something. Not what he was looking for, but it's something.
Yeah, we're pretty much maxed out defensively here.
Yeah, especially for these runners. I mean, 13 hearts and red mail. They should be fine with the rest of the seed.
Indeed. jmeasher getting the spin, corralling the puffs.
Nice.
Very nice. Purple chest is only 20 rupees.
So Smith's Chain's basically a bust except for that red mail. I guess
Sorry, go on.
Fred's just gonna get the crystal out of Eastern while he's in the neighborhood.
You mean pod, but yeah.
Yes. You know what I meant.
And Misha setting up the spooky action glitch, maybe thinking Meyer.
Well, if nothing... Wow, that was way too fast to check for me to see what it was.
I think it was Bombos. Gotta think either though. I could be wrong.
Well, he's got the mirror out, so he's gonna do either desert or checkerboard next.
I really need to train my eyes to see more of those quick medallion checks. And then checkerboard is just bombs.
So much for my guess.
I mean, for all we know, it could be Zorg, it could be Graveyard Ledge. We don't know where that ice rod is.
Well, he's setting his priorities. He's gonna do Dark Death Mountain, see if he can get into Turtle Rock. If he can, it's probably in its spot where it is in 25% of the seeds and sitting in the bottom chest on Laser Bridge.
I mean, if it is Ether for Turtle Rock and the ice rod's in there, jmeasher's in go mode.
That is true. And at this point, you might as well take that chance.
Yeah, really no harm in it. Except for wasting time climbing up the mountain. But you can check Super Bunny and Hookshot capabilities in the area.
And the only other thing is, with Aga down, there is no portal saving.
No.
So if there's no ice rod in Turtle Rock, jmeasher will have to go all the way back through it once he finds the ice rod.
And here in Super Bunny, heart piece and 50 rupees. Not the greatest, but at the same time, a couple of more checks off the list.
Too bad this isn't 6-6, or both of our runners would be going to GT right now.
Indeed. Gold sword, we found all of the upgrades.
I mean, it'll make Trinex marginally faster when the time comes.
Alright. Moment of truth here. It is Ether to enter Turtle Rock.
And Fred's also on his way up Death Mountain, so he's not far behind jmeasher.
Yeah, if this is an ice rod, this may come down to execution. Or an ice rod in Turtle Rock specifically.
Yeah.
But both runners have left a few checks abandoned. Graveyard Lead, Zora. I think jmeasher hasn't done any of Zora's domain, actually.
I'm trying to remember what was in Waterfall Cave.
I don't think there was anything of importance.
Yeah, that sounds right. I was just trying to think if there was any item that Fred has and jmeasher doesn't.
Oh yeah, there was a sword. There was the Master Sword in the Waterfall Cave. I forgot about that. They both were up there.
Okay, yeah, I vaguely remembered there being something in there, but I couldn't quite remember.
That felt like so long ago in the seed, and yet it's only been nearly 75 minutes now.
Yeah, if Ice Rod is in Turtle Rock, this really won't be that long a seed.
Indeed. Quake! Not the right magical item we need.
And Fred picks up his butter sword.
Yeah, Fred is now fully equipped in terms of tunic, shield, and sword.
Yeah, ultimately, if this gap of about 2 minutes between the runners persists, it'll have come down to the fact that, well, Fred did a few more checks and unfortunately they didn't have anything.
Alright, so they did find the big key here in Turtle Rock, so that could be an item there in the center of the lava lake.
And chat's still talking about Pet Ice Rod.
I mean, it's a possibility until we find... Actually, yeah. Until we get...
Oh wow, Toad's bunny form is a 1-up mushroom. That's awesome.
That is awesome. But yeah, until like we find the ice rod, it's actually completely plausible. Because we don't know the status of Desert, if it's boots locked or not. And if it isn't, it's possible we can fully access the pet. Alright, Jamie, you're gonna be heading out. Gonna be heading
Yeah,
out to the... Yeah.
At this point, you almost don't want to see the boots until GT.
Yeah.
Or at least until you have the ice rod.
Because ideally, you want to be on the mountain to go into Ganon's tower.
jmeasher doing the latest meta of checking the big chest and then doubling back to Mimic Cave.
Yeah, a little bit faster in case the go mode item is there instead of here in Mimic Cave. Wow. Grius had nothing but bombs and 10 bombs as well.
That's a lot of bombs.
I think that's the Hinox drop pack.
So we got Crystal Roller and we got Laser Bridge, and otherwise we're looking somewhere else.
And note our key count. We have 2 small keys going into Crystal Roller Room, which means Laser Bridge is either both of our dungeon. Yeah, we don't have either of our dungeon items yet either. So maximum 2 items on Laser Bridge. Make that potentially be 3.
Well, the map could be on Trinex, and there could be 4 items on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, all of our items could be on Laser Bridge. Minimum is 3. So pretty good odds the ice rod is here.
It's certainly the most item-dense location that we haven't checked yet.
Alright, moment of truth. 20 rupees. Half magic, good, fine. The map, so this is the last item here, and Trinix has 1 more. Trinix cannot have the ice rod, so it has to be here. It is! jmeasher's in go mode. Wow, what a call!
Didn't I say 25% of seeds put the ice rod in the last chest on Laser Bridge?
Well, jmeasher and soon to be Fred Coughlin will be both in go mode. You know the meta of these seats way too much.
I don't know why the ice rod shows up there more often than it has any right to, but it does seem to.
Now, Fred, it's about maybe, what do you say, 2 minutes behind?
That was my best guess. I didn't time it, but we can go by Crystal Grab.
Alright, good. Relatively okay position for trying. Could get the quick kill. Not quite. You ideally want to be bounced back and get a second hit of the spin so that you can kill Trinus before his center chest becomes vulnerable. And with that, folks, that is the 7th crystal, and we have a game we like to play.
I'm gonna see on the off chance if the game is somehow working.
Oh, is it?
Well, it started at least. We'll find out if it can save afterwards, but...
Well, we have 22 chests in Ganon's tower, folks. Only 1 of which is the big key, and apparently we had Bombos on there. Give us a number in chat to tell us where you think the big key will be. I'm gonna say it's in Hope Room.
I'll go with my usual 10 just because I've been getting way too many things right today, so that's probably going to be wrong.
jmeasher slideshowing his way over there.
Yeah, I hope we're able to see the chests. Meanwhile, Fred is on his way. Trying to remember. jmeasher did the crystal grab at about 121.25, I think.
₹20. And a small keeper chest is number 2. ₹20 on the torch, so that's item number 3.
And we don't need the boots.
Don't need the boots. Fred Coughlin getting that cleaned up quick kill against Trinex meanwhile.
Yeah, that definitely saved him, like, caught him up 10 seconds on jmeasher about.
Yeah. The trick with that quick kill is that the center is where you target, and we didn't exactly get that. 4, 5, 6 was money. Bombs, boots! There was some money in that one as well. I missed one of the chests. Looks like it wasn't the big key though, so that we're up to chest number 9, I believe.
Yeah, 9 in the fire snake room. And yeah, based on the 7th crystal grab, it was about 1:53 between the two runners.
Another small key here.
Here's Rando Room coming up.
It'd be 10, 11, 12, 13 in these rooms. If you hear the mirror, it's most likely going to be the item. We'll get a better look at what jmeasher found on Fred's end. Actually, wait, jmeasher is going left. Or going right, rather. Oh! jmeasher found the big key. It's in random room.
Oh, so Fred's gonna lose some time then.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I couldn't quite tell what chest it was, unfortunately, folks. But we can make an assumption when Fred gets it, but at least 10 to 13 is the correct number. Good thing we're playing this game for fun, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it won't actually save when the time comes. I just figured I'd try the bot to see if it would work.
Yeah, this looks to be jmeasher's race to lose at this point. I mean, we could have a Ganon fall or two. We don't know yet.
Or Moldorm fall or two.
Yeah. There's still enough room that any errors could be what turns the tide, or at least a significant amount of them.
And jmeasher's already in the gauntlet.
Cleaning it up quite nicely. jmeasher now on the whisperer floor, it looks like. Or sounds like, anyway.
The sweet sound of the Cane of Samaria trisecting some wizrobes.
Alright, so 10, 11, 12, 13. We're going to assume that... I think jmeasher was opening them up in a clockwise order, starting from the bottom left. That makes the most sense.
Yes.
$10, $11, $12. There it is.
And he still bombs the big key chest, even though it had his key.
So 12. Let's see who gets 12. Unfortunately, the results went off screen. I couldn't quite see.
Well, the bot's telling us Velanoth, so congratulations, Velanoth.
Can we save those results? I don't think we can, but we can try.
And as I expected, the save part of the bot still isn't working, so what can you do?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the bot only catches stuff as supporters, but because it didn't save the results, it was really just for fun. We've been trying to get that thing working. It doesn't want to listen.
And as Fred goes through Ganon Ball Z room, jmeasher is just about in Aga 2.
Yep, doing the nice fight. I think we got a double there to start these off.
You know, all told, this seed wasn't too bad. It was an Aga seed, and there was an Ice Rod hunt, and it's not going to be much over 130.
Yeah. Another 2 hits there, sounds like. Another double.
So what was that, 222, triple double?
Triple double, I think, yeah. Which is not bad.
No, definitely not. I mean, getting Aga within 3 cycles is great.
There were at least 4 patterns, so it's probably the 1-1-2-2.
And Fred misses 1 Fire Rod shot on Lanmo, but gets him on the 2nd cycle with the sword.
Gets a first free hit here. 4, 5, 6. Done with first phase 1 of Ganon. Done with phase 2.
And now we see that Ganon gave Kefka's monologue.
Wrong game. Ganon, wrong game. Kefka is a good villain, though.
And he has some really good monologues.
Yeah. On to phase 3. Hopefully we get to see where the silver arrows were. Sounds like we're in phase 4. Based on all the spins. And it looks like we missed the text.
Well, Fred's close enough that hopefully he'll finish it out and not forfeit, and we'll be able to see what Ganon says. Fred's a bit annoyed that Moldorm wasn't hiding silvers.
A little bit. And that's GG, folks. Get your GG chat for jmeasher, who has defeated Ganon. Going purely off the audio keys. And that is it's going to be first place room with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 9 seconds.
And Fred's already on Aga 2, so he shouldn't be too far behind.
Invented the domination, Dr. Wily is in the text.
So we've gotten Mega Man and Final Fantasy in the course of the ending.
In my way? No. That was a 3-2-1 from Fred. Not bad. Not bad. We're gonna wait a little bit for Fred to finish before we pull in both for an interview. Seems only fitting. They finished so close together.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess Fred going right side cost him about a minute since he was about 2 minutes behind, and this Ganon fight, he dropped in about 3 minutes later.
What ended up being on Zora? Good question. Hopefully we can catch it on jmeasher's end. It's still a little slideshowy.
And if not, we'll catch it on Fred's end.
I think it'll be the next message here on the credits. It was a heart.
Ooh, the arrows were in GT, and since we saw just about everything, they must have either been, like, Bob's chest or behind Ice Armos or Tile Room. Nice job with the slashes here by Fred.
So it was either Big Chest in Ganon's Tower, behind Ice Armos, or Bob's Torch. That was all the items that was left.
And Tile Room.
Yeah, and Tile Room, because Fred checked everything in the upper floors.
And there he goes. Get your GGs in chat for Fred.
Yep, get your in chat for Fred Coughlin, finishing strong here. Not letting his opponent get the better of him. Well, at least in terms of sportsmanship. And he finished in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 11 seconds. Alright, so we're going to wait for both of them to come on up here.
I see jmeasher in the waiting room. We don't have Fred yet.
There he is.
There we go.
Let's pull them both up.
Here's jmeasher, GG. Here's Fred, GG.
Yeah, GG to both of you. Great race.
Yeah, GG, Fred.
Yeah, you too. You played really well.
I hope you guys enjoyed my PowerPoint presentation with the fast randomizer there at the end.
At least we got the audio.
Yeah, at least we got the audio.
At least we had something.
Rebound rod. I think that's the Gina Berna, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember seeing that. Or is it like the red boomerang?
It's really hard to tell.
One way to find out. But anyway, yeah, you guys had a really even race. I think in the course of the race, you had 2 simultaneous boss kills at different points, and it was the same boss.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, that doesn't surprise me given how linear the seed ended up being, and how close all of our races have been thus far. So, yeah, I assume it was pretty entertaining, even for a linear seed like that.
Yeah, ultimately it really came down to, Fred doing Smith chain and getting unlucky with that, and doing right side GT and getting unlucky with that, and that was basically the time difference between you guys.
Yeah, it bit me too. It bit me on, I think, our last race where jmeasher, in our first round, Smith chain had 2 different things in it. So I figured if I, with Aghanim down, there was no chance of saving a portal if the Turtle Rock guess was wrong. So I'd said, let me go try that Smith chain. Turns out in this case, not the right choice, but who knows what would have happened on a different seed. So I said, let me try it and see what we could do.
Yeah, and Aghanim being required snuck up on us, really, if you think about it.
I kind of suspected it fairly early, but once I went to Eastern and found that hammer, then it kind of felt like I needed to clear most everything, excluding some out-of-the-way checks. Because I believe like Lamp was pretty early. We had a sword. It was either Lamp or Cape pretty early. So we had all the stuff for Aghanim relatively early, but yeah, you never really know. And once you're like gloves away or hammer away or something like that, it becomes tough to justify leaving checks off.
Yeah, Lamp, Cape, and that first sword were all in Kakariko.
Yeah, and the only check that would have potentially been gloves was Zora at the time, which ended up being a heart container, it looks like.
But yeah, for the most part, you guys were thinking very similarly. Like you both, after beating Hera, immediately went back in to see what was in the basement. You both did left side swamp before going to the back. It was kind of interesting that neither of you was going to gain any time on the other through those checks.
Yeah, I think with the swamp play specifically, I think that early map was what kind of pushed me that direction. If it had been another item, I would have gone to the back first. But at that point, I want to say there were very few locations that Mitz could have been. So I probably wasn't going to leave any items in swamp. It's just kind of one of those things you have to play by ear, and depends on what you have left at that point in time.
Well, I'm certainly going to be looking forward to the next race, and Fred, you will be selecting the mode, and if I understand what you said in IRC correctly, it will be Map Compass Shuffle?
That's right. We did that in race 2 last time. I was able to, pull out a win. So I said, let's see if history can repeat itself and try to get ourselves another game 3.
Sounds good to me. That'll be same time, same start time tomorrow, I believe.
You got it. Same start time tomorrow night, 10:30-ish Eastern. 9:30 Central, 8:30 Mountain, 7:30 Pacific, and a whole bunch of other times throughout the world that I just don't happen to know.
And it has not yet been assigned a restream, so another good reason to follow our runners so that you can keep up in case there's no restream. You can watch them directly through multi-channel.
Indeed. And actually, this is the last race of tonight, rather, except that will be at least featured with a guaranteed restream. If you want to see another race, the earliest race we're going to have for you is tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Asder will take on Lunchtime ATA.
And they played a doubleheader today, which they split. It was really exciting. If you get a chance, you should go and watch those. So this is going to be a game 3 between them. And yeah, we're also showing a doubleheader early tomorrow afternoon, starting at 12:20 p.m. on Speed Gaming 2 between Fear Agent and Salty Fry.
And then following that, another one.
Yeah, in there, Amazing Ampharos and Roland Tonker are going to be doing a game 2 on Speed Gaming at 1:20, and then we have a whole busy evening schedule. So yeah, check the schedule, which
actually,
let's get it in chat.
Actually, the best way to possibly find is to see all these matches is basically just follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 236 so you don't miss any racing action, not just our Link to the Best Randomizer tournament. And of course, make sure to also follow a Link to the Best Randomizer, a Link to the Best Randomizers 2 through 5, because we have extra restreams as well if we can find some time. As a matter of fact, one of those races will actually also be tomorrow at 8:20. Solski versus Roach will be featured on a Link to the Best Randomizer. And of course, more importantly, make sure to follow these 2 runners for putting on an excellent race for us tonight. Very close race. Could have gone either way at the end there. Or make sure to also follow my code com Rossi, and of course our tracker, Lumanga, I believe? Lumaga, sorry. Added an extra syllable there. But
And the 83 is silent.
yeah. So with that all being said and done, folks, that's going to do us for us here. So from all of us here at Link the Best Randomizer 2019 tournament, I have been WolfLink0270, and we just see you all next time, and thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.